So this is my Yamaha R3 and it's been about a year since I've had it. Never changed the coolant. So today we're going to change the coolant to the new one that I've got. So here I've got ENGINEICE coolant. This is probably the best ones you can get from what I've heard, especially if you're someone that rides on the track. So we're going to change it with this coolant here. So first thing is we're going to have to remove the bodywork. The left side is to be able to access the reservoir, and then the right side of the bike, so then I can access the drain bolt for the coolant and the radiator cap, as well as the hoses, so then I can remove any bubbles. So we managed to remove all the bodywork to expose all the parts that we need to have exposed. As you can see here, that's the coolant reservoir. You can see the radiator. And on the right side, you can see radiator cap, radiator hose, and the drain bolt's just down there as well. So first things first is to drain the radiator of all the coolant with the drain bolt at the bottom. So we're going to loosen this bolt here at the very bottom. And you can see that the green coolant is slowly coming out. And you're wondering why it's no longer coming out. Well, we can control that by opening this. And you can actually use how much you open this to control the flow. I'm going to remove this entire cap here. Let it drain all out of it. Yummy, yummy green. Look at that. So you can see that I finished draining the radiator. Now we're going to remove the coolant from the reservoir. I'm going to remove the reservoir cover. So it turns out I actually need to go get distilled water to be able to flush the old coolant from the radiator and the hoses to make sure it's clean before I put the new blue coolant in. So we're gonna go quickly to Super Cheap Auto across the road to get the new coolant. Not the new coolant, the distilled water. Let's go. So we've got 10 liters of distilled water. I got an extra bottle just in case. And you can see here that red, we've got a, I forgot what they're called. Anyways, basically to help pour the distilled water and the new coolant into the radiator and without spilling. So now we're gonna go home and finish the job. So as you can see, we still need to drain the coolant reservoir out and clean it out. So that's what we're gonna do. So now that's all done, the radiator has been empty and the reservoir emptied. So now we're going to clean it with distilled water. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the drain bolt back on, so then obviously it doesn't flow out. We're going to top it up with distilled water, let it sit for a bit and then drain it out and rinse and repeat however you like until it's clean. So I finished washing out the radiator and the radiator reservoir and the pipes about 3 times. So now I'm going to put in the new coolant and make sure that there's no air bubbles. So we can kind of hear it burping. Make sure that there's no air bubbles. So in a video that I watched to know how to change my coolant, we press the coolant hoses. Make sure there's no air bubbles. I'm going to squeeze this pipe here as well. Also gonna top this up about to the low level. All right, put that back in. So we've topped up the radiator and the cooling system with the new coolant. Now I'm going to turn on the bike and let it warm up to working temperature, and just to make sure that the fans are running and the cooling system actually is functional. All right, so we finished putting on the new coolant in. We've done about 2 heat cycles. We're going to let it cool down and check the coolant level one more time. I've topped up the reservoir to be just above the middle of the full and low line. So we're gonna let it cool down. We're gonna put all the bodywork back on, and then I'm gonna take it for a little test ride and just watch the temperature gauge to see if it's within the working temperature or if it starts overheating. All right, so yes, it's a little bit sweaty because it's pretty humid in Melbourne. It's like 25 today and it's raining for some reason. Anyway, we put all the bodywork on the bike. As you can see, completely, fairings back on. A little bit of spillage on the floor, but we're gonna clean that up. Honestly, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And it was actually quite a lot of fun. A lot of it was just waiting for it to drain and rinse and repeat. And I hope you enjoyed, going on the journey of changing the coolant with me and learning how to do it. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more track day videos, more bike maintenance stuff, and anything else, leave in the description and subscribe to see more of these videos where I document my journey of a motorcycle rider, focusing on track riding more so. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.